Hello, everyone. I hope that today finds you well. Today, we're going to be talking about borrowed power. Borrowed power. So, what is it? It really came into effect in Legion in full force. There's always been kind of like mini borrowed power systems, like legendaries and things like that, but they were like kind of naturally progressed out, right? In Legion, that was a little more difficult, but like in Pandaria and Cataclysm, those legendaries, those were kind of phased out naturally throughout progression as you leveled up. You're just really powerful, right? And Legion is when they really brought in this borrowed power philosophy, I guess you would call it. They had the what are they called? The artifact weapons, right? These great, all-powerful weapons. If you were a balanced druid, it wasn't all that great, right? But you know, you were a rat paladin. You had a pretty solid weapon there, right? Everybody knew it. But that's by the by. That's fine. I don't know of any great druids that had great staffs before, so they had to do something, right? I liked my artifact weapon. It was good. It was strong. It was powerful. It really made me like godlike by the end of Legion, right? I was really strong. And it's kind of the problem of the borrowed power system. I think I touched on this a little bit in the last video, right? It's like where are druids now? How do they look in Shadowlands? Whatever. Call it something. Whatever. Whenever I started Battle for Azeroth, it felt horrible, right? It just felt horrible. It's actually whenever they first took away all of our artifact power, it felt horrible. But coming into Battle for Azeroth, it felt horrible. Another problem we had, they had a legendary problem, right? They had to do something because our legendaries were so awesome in Legion. They took them away at what, 117, 116? I can't remember. They had a number. And that felt even worse, right? So once you hit that cap, your power just really diminished and you had to deal solely on their Azerite power system. That's where the problem is, right? That is the problem. The fact that you become weaker. You're not progressing. You feel like you're going backwards. And Battle for Azeroth did it twice. Now there are going to be discussions in the future as to what's worse, Battle for Azeroth or Warlords of Draenor, right? Which one's the worst one? Spoiler alert, right? I might make a video on this, but obviously Warlords of Draenor is the worst, right? Hands down, it's the worst. Battle for Azeroth suffered from this borrowed power system. That's the problem. If they would have had a good borrowed power system to replace artifact weapons with, no problem. But they didn't. They had a crappy borrowed power system to replace it with, right? That's the problem. It was just completely useless. I mean, not useless. It's completely avoidable. So are borrowed power systems bad? I guess it kind of depends. Because looking back at BFA, case in point, right, is 8.2. 8.2 was a good patch. 8.2 made the game better. It was a really good patch, and I really enjoyed playing 8.2. What was the big feature of 8.2? The essence system, right? You had to go out, you had to farm these essences, and these essences made you better. And they made you stronger, and they helped you tweak your character, and you could like turn them on and turn them off. Kind of where I think they're going with the soul binds in the next thing, right? So that's the good part. That's the good part of the borrowed power system. Is it really good? Well, they kind of had to use it because their original borrowed power system was so crappy, right? So if they wouldn't have had a borrowed power system in the first place, they wouldn't have had to use a borrowed power system to fix their broken one. So yeah, although 8.2 was really good, by the time you got to 8.3, it was already a problem, right? Because should it be account wide? Should it not? Hey, I earned these. Why should he get it for free? You know, it's all these issues that they have, and it's all because they want to introduce these borrowed power systems. But you know, as I've said before, it's not like it's inherently bad. The bad part is when we go from patch to patch, are we always going to have this lull? Like, I'm already expecting it for Shadowlands, right? I have my Azurite gear, I have my essences. They're going to turn those off. Going into Shadowlands, I'm not going to feel as powerful as I did in BFA, right? I'm going to be hindered, so to speak. I'm going to have things taken away that previously I had before, or I'll have things in my talent tree that I have to use a row on, where before I had it for free, right? So it's like they're stealing from me, and that's how I'm going to feel. And that's kind of the problem. They need, it's not that borrowed power systems are bad, they just need to find a better way to implement it, right? So when I transition from one system to the next, it doesn't feel as bad. Like, I don't enjoy 8.3 as much as I enjoyed 8.2. All right, and I don't think it's the 8.3 is really bad. I wish I could explain it. I wish I could explain it. I think there were just too many chores in 8.3. That's just got to be it. Where 8.2 didn't feel like chores. So maybe that has nothing to do with borrowed power at all. That's just my own gripe with 8.3. So let's just move on. Let's forget I even said that. In the end, borrowed power systems might be viable. They might work. It's up to Blizzard to find a way, if they're going to use borrowed power systems, that the transition doesn't feel awful. Maybe they'll find a way in Shadowlands, and maybe I'll get in there and things will feel great, smooth, I won't miss anything. But most likely, it's not. And I'm resigned to the fact that I'm not going to enjoy my character as much at the start, and then I'm going to have to wait until I get halfway through the first raid tier, until my character starts to feel, like a hero, like he did before, right? So that's it. That's all I really have to say about this. It's borrowed power systems have problems, and I don't know what the solutions are. I would love to offer, oh, here's the great solution. Here's what Blizzard could do to make this better. But I don't have one, aside from just not using them at all. If you like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the likes. If you have other ideas, like if you have a way to fix this system, comment down below. I like to respond to comments. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Dravot. Make sure you turn on war mode.